Very good morning, cadets. Let us continue the chapter number 10. Today, let us study about the kingdoms or the Nawabs of Awadh, Hyderabad, and Bengal. Nawabs of Hyderabad, Nizams of Hyderabad, Nawabs of Bengal, and Awadh. They were feudatories or the subordinates of Mughals during the time of Aurangzeb. Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad, all three states were founded by members of high Mughal nobility who had been governors of large provinces. Sadat Khan, now of Awadh, Murshid Quli Khan, now of Bengal. Same after Murshid Quli Khan only, Alwardi Khan, then Sirajuddaula. Sirajuddaula, the Battle of Plassey. You study about Battle of Plassey in the class 8th. And Asaf Jah, Nizam of Hyderabad. So all these three kingdoms. Now let us study about Hyderabad. Nizam ul Mulk Asaf Jah, the founder of Hyderabad state, was one of the most powerful members of the court of Mughal Emperor Farrukh Shir. So that means when Farrukh Shir was the emperor of Mughal, was one of the powerful member of Mughal court was Asaf Jah, was the Nizam of Hyderabad. He was entrusted the governorship of Awadh. He was declared as the governor of Awadh and later given the charge of Deccan provinces. So the Deccan provinces charges were given to him. As a Mughal governor of Deccan provinces, Asaf Jah already had full control over political and financial administration. So political and financial administration was controlled by Asaf Jah. Asaf Jah was the Nizam of Hyderabad. Taking the advantage of the turmoil in Deccan and the competition amongst the court nobility, he gathered power in his hands and he became an actual ruler of that region. So Asaf Jah took the advantage of political instability of Deccan part of India and he declared himself, or he took the authority as a regional ruler of Deccan province. Asaf Jah brought skilled soldiers and administrators from northern India who welcomed the new opportunities in the south. He appointed Mansabdars and granted Zagirs. So he appointed Mansabdars and of course granted Zagir. Zagir means land. He ruled quite independently without seeking any directions from the Delhi or facing any interference. The Mughal emperor merely confirmed the decisions already taken by the Nizam. The state of Hyderabad was continuously engaged in a struggle against Marathas to the west and independent Telugu warriors, Nayakas, of the Deccan Plateau. The ambitious of Nizam to control the rich textile producing areas of Coromandel coast, the west, were checked by the British who were becoming increasingly powerful in that region. So Nizam was controlled by British who were powerful, who were gaining their importance. The same way the Nizams of Hyderabad tried to control over this area. So just now once again quickly go through this issue of Hyderabad. So who was the Nizam of Hyderabad? The Nizam of Hyderabad was the most powerful member. The Asaf Jah, and taking the political situations, he gained lot of importance and control in that particular region. Now let us study about Awadh. Bura ul Mulk Saadat Khan, popularly known as, was appointed as Subhadar of Awadh in the year 1722. So in the year 1722, he got an appointment as Subhadar, which one of the most important to emerge out the breakup of the Mughal Empire. Awadh was prosperous region controlling the rich alluvial Ganga plain. It was a very rich plateau because of the Ganga soil. So the rich alluvial Ganga plain and the main trade route between North India and Bengal, Bura ul Mulk also held a combined office of Subhadari, Diwani and Fauzudari. Regarding Diwani, Fauzudari and Subhadari, regarding this in class 8 you are going to study. This is Fauzudari Adalat and Diwani Adalat. What today we speak about criminal court and civil court. That is what the names of the courts in those days. So they were all responsible for managing political and financial and military provinces of Awadh. This is a painting or the picture of Saadat Khan. So Nawab of Awadh, Saadat Khan, got his appointment as Sabha in 1722. Bura ul Mulk tried to decrease Mughal influence in the Awadh region by reducing number of office holders appointed by Mughals. He also reduced the size of Zagirs and appointed his own loyal servants to vacant positions. The accounts of Jagirs were checked to prevent cheating, and the revenue of all the districts were reassessed by officials appointed by Nawab's court. He seized the number of Rajput zamindars and agriculturally fertile lands of Afghan of Rohilkhand. So Afghans of Rohilkhand seized, means he seized number of Rajput zamindars and agriculturally fertile fields of Afghans of Rohilkhand. This is how Awadh gained its importance, or Awadh gained the political importance as the kingdom. The state depended on local bankers and Mahajans for loans. It sold the right to collect the tax to the highest bidders. The revenue farmers agreed to pay the state a fixed sum of money. Local bankers guaranteed the payment to the contracted amount to the state. In turn, the revenue farmers were given considerable freedom in assessment and collection of tax. The developments allowed new groups like moneylenders and bankers to influence the management of the state revenue system. So Saadat Khan was the Nawab of Bengal. Saadat Khan gained lot of importance because of his involvement in capturing new provinces, areas, and he tried to control the political and social development mainly after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. Now let us study the third important province, that is Bengal. So we just now completed the province of Hyderabad, and we also completed the province of Awadh, and now let us study the province of Bengal. Bengal gradually broke away from Mughal control under Murshid Quli Khan. You have to remember this Bengal because later we study about Bengal in the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar in higher classes. Bengal gradually broke away from Mughal control under Murshid Quli Khan, who was appointed as Naib under or the deputy governor of the province. Although never a formal subhadar, Murshid Quli Khan very quickly seized all the power that went with that office. Like the rulers of Hyderabad, Murshid Quli Khan very quickly seized all the power that went to the office. Like the rulers of Hyderabad and Awadh, he also commanded the revenue administration of the state. In an effort to reduce the Mughal influence in Bengal, he transferred all Mughal Jagidars to Orissa and ordered a major reassessment of revenue in Bengal. Revenue was collected in cash with a great strictness from all zamindars. As a result, many zamindars had to borrow money from bankers and moneylenders. Those unable to pay were forced to sell their land to the larger zamindars. So Murshid Quli Khan, the entire paragraph explains that the Murshid Quli Khan also started gaining lot of importance mainly after death of Aurangzeb, and his influence in the Bengal province was increased very much because of the political turmoil which took place after the death of Aurangzeb, and how Murshid Quli Khan also reassessed the revenue. What even a reassessment means? A reassessment of revenue land and refixing of taxation. Like today, what we pay 1 acre land, this is a land tax. This is called revenue assessment. They do the agriculture land, non-agriculture land, inundated land or watered land. So like that, revenue assessment is generally done. So Murshid Quli Khan ordered for reassessment of land and a refixation of the taxes. So what we have to understand now of Bengal, Nizam of Hyderabad and now of Awadh started gaining lot of importance after the downfall or after death of Aurangzeb, and they really used the political turmoil of Bengal province. The formation of regional states in 18th century Bengal therefore led to a considerable change amongst the zamindars. The close connection between state and the bankers, noticeably in Hyderabad and Awadh as well, was evident in Bengal under rule of Alwardi Khan. During his reign, the banking house of Jagat Seth became extremely prosperous. This is the picture of or the painting of Alwardi Khan's court. If we take bird's eye view, we can detect three common features among these states. So just now we gone through the three states, that is Hyderabad, Awadh and Bengal. First, though many of the largest states were established erstwhile, Mughal nobles were highly suspicious over some administrative system and they had inherited, they had a suspicious of those administrative system. In particularly, which is the system? That is Jagirdar system. Regarding Mansabdari, Jagirdari system, please refer the Mughal administration which we studied in detail. What is the second? The second, their method of collection of tax was differed. I mean, every kingdom had a different kind of collection of tax. Other than replying upon the officers of the state or other than depending on officers of the trade, all the three regimes contracted with the revenue farmers and the collection of revenue. So collection of revenue, the method or the agent who collect the revenue was different in these provinces. The practice of Ijjardari, thoroughly disapproved by the Mughals, spread over India in the 18th century. Their impact was on the countryside differed considerably. So the impact of tax collectors were different in the other places. What is the third common feature? The third common feature was in all these three regional states was their emerging relationship with rich bankers and merchants. These people lent money to revenue farmer, received the land and security and collected the tax from these lands through their own agents. Throughout India, the richest merchant and banker was gaining a stake of political order. So, just now we studied about Bengal, Awadh, and Nawab of Hyderabad, Nizam of Hyderabad. All these three states had a different administrative patterns. So, that is what we studied just now. So once again I will go through. This is now we completed about Awadh. Before that we completed about Hyderabad. Then we completed about Awadh. We studied in detail about Awadh and Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan. Please remember this because this got a link with the later chapter of class 8. So okay. So remember the important rulers of Awadh and Bengal. So till now we completed this particular chapter in half, that is political map of India, then the crisis in the Mughal Empire, because of the crisis in Mughal Empire, and the later part we studied about attack by the Nadir Shah and how it destroyed the political scenario of India. Then we studied about how the growth of the three major kingdoms, that is old Mughal provinces, then Hyderabad, then we discussed about Awadh, and we also discussed about the Bengal. Okay, Bengal in brief. So next I'll explain about Watan Jagirs of Rajputs. So Watan Jagirs of Rajput I'll explain in next class. Thank you. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.